Hello. Today in my writing process playlist, I'm going to discuss my final draft of my outline. So I just went to the print shop near my house and I have the final draft of the outline. And I'm very excited. It has made me... it's like this. When you are making something, especially something large like a novel, there are these kind of milestones or kind of benchmark or a hurdle, that an obstacle, I guess, that you come in contact with several times before you finish the work. These obstacles are often what stops a person from finishing something. So each time you can kind of get over one of them, it's a very exciting moment because you've accomplished what you set out to do. And I think that's very satisfying. And I'm satisfied with it. It's still pretty raw, but I've incorporated all the handwritten notes that I did on the previous draft. I kind of expanded on the areas that I highlighted, and I added what I needed to add from that second draft. But then the question is, what did I do in the final draft? Well, the first thing I did is I just read through it again. But reading through it, not really as a writer, is more someone trying to understand the story. Some of it is vague. There are parts I haven't quite figured out yet, or I just have kind of the skeleton of it, and I will learn more about it as I'm writing it. That's a good word to use, is the skeleton. The framework is now there. So what I did is read it one time, and then I went through it again slowly, as if I'm writing it to be complete. Typically when I do drafts of any writing, there are these moments where you're sort of going over and over again to get it right. And that's kind of what I did with this draft. I polished it up a lot. I was very focused on certain parts. I added a few things. I took some things away. The main kind of takeaway is that I made a vital discovery about the voice of the novel. And I didn't really know that previously, so I think it's kind of a big moment for me. What I didn't realize in the previous drafts is that I needed kind of a bookend device that is part of the first and last chapter to kind of draw the reader in better. It didn't jump out at me until I read the whole thing and I saw it as a whole creation, and then I started thinking, well, they always say to make things cyclical. And I realized that that's what I needed to do with this. So that was a big eureka moment, and I don't think I would have figured that out if I had only done one draft of the outline. Maybe I would have figured that out later in the writing process or even in the editing process, but that would have been, I think, a little bit too late at that point. Now, when I start the drafting process, I will write notes on this again as I'm writing. And after my first draft is complete, first draft of the novel, I will fold these notes into a new version of the outline and probably print it again. And I will probably repeat this process for the second draft and the third draft. And the reason I do that is because your outline is like your lifeline. It's kind of the thing that you always go back to. If it's organized, then it's easy to kind of use. But if it's disorganized and you got stuff all over the place and it just isn't organized, it's going to slow down your drafting process. And I am a firm believer of trying to make yourself as organized as possible, so when you get to the drafting process, which I'm about to start, you are prepared, like it's a marathon. There's like nothing that will stop you, nothing that will get in the way. Because the moment that you have a problem, like if you're doing a certain amount of words a day and you're trying to stick to that, The moment you have a problem, it derails that process. So to have a crisp, well thought out outline, it just eases that potentiality. So yeah, that's all I got for this. My next video is going to be on final organizing of my Scrivener file. Then I'll have a few more videos for my first draft prep, including my word count goals and everything. I think at this point, after having figured some of this out, I think I'm going to start my first draft December 1st, unless something crazy happens in the meantime. But that is my plan at this moment. And I will explain that more in the subsequent videos. Anyway, take care. Have a good day. Bye-bye.